Well, happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. It's a faithful Friday. It better be. Listen, I want everybody to have a great weekend. It's a beautiful day outside. As Mr. Rogers would say, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And my name is Katie Lowe, and I want to welcome you to Rhythm Flow Live Stream right here on Meta Facebook Live, YouTube, and Spreaker. And you know it's Friday at 5, and you know what time it is. It's time for a conversation with Brother Raymond. And without further ado, watch me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a conversation with Brother Raymond. I'm your host. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest, my good dear friend, Veronica Williams from Houston, Texas. But before we get into the show, y'all know how we do it always. We got to give Lord his preference. And so let's get to him. Heavenly Father, we come to you thanking you with our arms open wide for you allowing us to live to see another day. Lord, we ask that you keep all hurt, harm, and danger from our children, from our community, and from our society. Lord, we ask that you change the hearts and minds of those who are wicked and turn them into good people. Lord, we know that you can do it. You have done it so many times before. I am one of the ones that you have done it to and done it for. So we ask that you continue to work your magic on us, Lord. Work your wisdom. Give us our love. Change our minds and hearts. Guide us the way you want us to go. Do what you want us to do. Let us do what you want us to do, and let us be grateful for you today. In your mighty precious son, Jesus' name, we pray. Amen. 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 Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have a special guest. But before we get into that, as always, I'm coming to y'all live. I'm at the hotel, of course, and me and my baby just got in about a few hours ago, and it's very, very special. First, we want to say happy birthday to anyone celebrating a birthday. We're going to give a special shout out to our good friend Deidre and Nate, who will be Mr. and Mrs. Williams tomorrow. Yay! Congratulations on y'all unison. May God continue to strengthen y'all. And anybody, unfortunately, who lost someone, our heart goes out to you. We have our deepest condolences. BST is here to help support you in any way we can. We just want you to understand that we are still moving and we are still here. Although you don't see me in Chicago, BST is alive and well in Chicago. You better believe it. You need to know that. And you will be seeing more of me soon because we're going to be doing a big, huge presentation. So, ladies and gentlemen, my guest today is a friend that I met at the gang conference in 2014. I was there doing a presentation, as many of you know, with Brother Jim and Brothers and Sisters of Love. Okay. There go the bride to be. Hey, sister. And so when I met her, we instantly connected. And what I found out was that Sister Veronica had a powerful, powerful testimony, and she had done so much for reentry. Check this out, y'all, and recovery. I'm gonna say it again. She did so much for reentry and recovery. So we locked in from 2014, and we've been jammed ever since. And then God put it in my heart and use the highways and the byways. So now I'm in Houston and she's in Houston, where she has a plethora. When I say plethora of stuff, they have a plethora of stuff to do there. And there's so much going on. And she's mentoring, she's counseling, she's sponsoring, and now she's the author. And she's going to get into that. Without further ado, let's bring on my friend, Veronica Williams, y'all. Let's give her a warm welcome. Hey, there she
Hello.
goes. So, I just want to first thank you for sharing this great opportunity to experience not only with me, but all my people in Chicago, because they're gonna finna get a treat. They don't even know they in for a treat. And I want to thank you, man. I mean, ever since we met, we've been jammed from the hip ever since, and you have given me some tools and some nuggets that I needed in order to help enhance what I was doing. And I just want to thank you. But it ain't about me today. It's your hour of power. So, Miss Veronica, give them a background of who you are.
Okay. I am so glad to be here. Thank you so much. I thank Brother Standing Together for allowing me this opportunity. Um, like Raymond has told y'all, we met in 2014 at the gang conference where I was actually just a participant, but ever since then, I've been a person that gives presentations there, and I talk about women in recovery and returning citizen females. I talk about men that need to go through gang renouncement programs because I am a gang renouncement specialist. I did my last 5 years before I retired for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and I was the only person in the state that was actually over gang renouncement. So every guy that wanted to renounce had to come to my program. And it was just such a blessing to get this training and to be a supervisor of a department. They actually helped me get my master's degree back in 2016 because I was working with these guys, and it was such a wonderful opportunity. But since I've retired in 2017, I started another program which had been ongoing. I just kind of revamped it, and it's called In the Company of My Sisters. And what we do is we go up to 2 units in Marlin, Texas, the hobby unit and the Marlin unit. And we work with the ladies before they get out. And the best part about it is the chaplain screens the women in the unit and everyone that's coming to Harris County, which is the county that Houston resides in. Harris County, Montgomery County, Galveston County, those ladies are allowed to participate in our program so we can not only work with them before they get out of prison so that we have a bond. We've learned how to communicate. They know how to trust us simply because we've taken our time to go up there every other month and spend time with them, which we've been doing for the last 4 years by God's grace. But also when they get out, we get to help them with all of their reentry efforts with whatever they need. And I am a substance abuse counselor by trade. I've been doing that since 2003. So I also get to help them with things like their self-esteem, their self-worth, their disappointments. We talk about those, and we pray about them. We talk about how we understand that things are going to get better. Maybe this wasn't the job for me because the power that I believe in greater than myself that I call God, if that's not where he wanted me to be, then I have to wait until the next opportunity. So we give them moral support. And that's what a lot of people don't have when they first get released. They know how to get a job. People know how to go out there, get a job. Of course, if you get a job, you can get a place to stay. You can get a car to drive. But that moral support, I found out through working with men and women, that they need that more than they do anything else, especially when they're locked up. So I've been sober, clean and sober. I was on crack cocaine for some years, and of course had been drinking for a long time. But I've been sober since the 1st of October 1989. So the year that I wrote my book, the 1st of October 1989. I'm working on 33 years in recovery.
Oh, amen. Amen.
Yeah, it's been quite a ride.
Yes, it has.
But one of the things I needed was a fundraiser for my women's mentoring program. And so I decided at 30 years, I wrote and finished my book, my very first book ever. And it's called Out of the Ditch in 30. And this is
Say that again. I want the viewers to get this because this is a cold piece here. Tell them again.
Out of the Ditch in 30. And as you can see, both of those women on the cover are me.
Okay.
So what that is, it's a little bit because I'm a brand new author. So I wanted my audience, whoever that turns out to be, to know a little bit about me and what I've been through. So it doesn't talk. It's only like 85 pages, but it's a powerful book. It doesn't just talk about my recovery. And well, it doesn't just talk about my using. Let me put it that way. We talk a little bit about, so I qualify to be in substance abuse recovery. You know I
I
qualify
qualify.
because I
That's
gave you
right.
just enough to know that. But after that chapter, we're talking about how I actually recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body,
Man.
and how God has
Woo.
brought me to so many levels, because there's levels of faith, there's levels of recovery, and there's also levels of joy and happiness. And I want to always be able to move to whatever level God has taken me to. So that's what the book is about. It talks about me, it talks about different things that I went through. And what I am asking my audience to do if they purchase these books, I want them to sit back and relax. It's in the introduction. Your situation doesn't have to be exactly like mine. Maybe you're recovering from bad relationships. Perhaps you're recovering from low self esteem, not thinking as much of yourself as you should, as God made you to be. But
Hmm.
whatever it is, my example is just an example. If you could plug yourself in to what I'm talking about, then I guarantee you, when you get through with this book, you're going to be motivated to go ahead and start something or continue whatever track you're on. It's so many different places that you can go once you feel the freedom. I've had freedom, and I think it's my portion in life that God created me, even though I was off track for a little while. God created me to bring freedom to others. So that's why I go into the prisons. I've never been locked up, but God told me years ago in the 1990s, he said, go into the prisons. And I'm like, are you sure? I don't know if these people don't want to hear what I got to say. They probably gonna think I'm square, and she didn't
Right.
come from the streets and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, but I bet when I was in that dope house, everybody in there looked the same. It didn't matter where you came
There you
from,
go. There
what
you
you
go.
believe in,
There
what you
you
look
go.
like. We was like, it was people up in there that had money, people up in there that didn't have money, people that had clothes, people that was smelling like they hadn't had a bath in 3-4 days.
That's
We was
it.
all up in there together.
Yeah.
So if we can stand together in the negativity, what's wrong with us standing together in the positivity? And
Come on, man.
that's all.
I ain't say it. I didn't
That's
say
what I'm
it.
about.
You heard,
That's what I'm about, Raymond. You know
you
me.
heard it
We've
from
been knowing
Veronica.
each other a
I ain't say it.
long
Y'all heard it
time.
from Veronica. So
We
I ain't
go
the
there.
only one.
We go there because it's my job to help people get on their feet, and so they can choose to be whatever they want to be. I can't tell you what to be. All I can do is walk alongside of you and support you. I'm your cheerleader. Yes, we're gonna keep moving
That's it.
until we
That's
get
it.
what we're trying to get. And that's up to you. But I don't mind introducing you to some people. I don't mind helping you when you get down and out thinking, oh, it ain't gonna get no better. No, that's a lie. We're gonna keep it moving. And that's what
That's
I'm
it.
here for.
That's it. Okay, what I want to do is I want to show the people about. Okay, you said you gave them a snippet in the book out of
Uh-huh.
the ditch in 30,
Uh-huh.
but I want to. We're going to get into that, but I want you to go into a few of your accomplishments. Could you give them a few of your credentials, please?
Well, the first thing that I accomplished in my recovery was I was on a job in a chemical plant for 25 years. I'm an ex-chemical plant operator, and I was there 12 years outside of recovery, but I made it 13 years inside of recovery before I left there. So
Okay.
that was an accomplishment for me.
Right.
And then I went to school, because when I left the plant, it was because I couldn't do the work anymore, because being a female, all that hard work just kind of tore my body up. I started suffering
Okay.
from all kinds of arthritis and stuff. So the doctor said, you're going to be crippled if you don't change your occupation. So I got out, and Texas used to have an entity called TRC, which is Texas Rehabilitation Commission. They changed it to DARS, Department of Assistive and Rehabilitative Services, but it used to be TRC. So I approached TRC and I said, look, I have a career. I'm coming out of a 25-year career. I need somebody to pay for me to go to counseling school. And I had already paid. I had already done my homework. I found a school that accept TRC money and everything. And I submitted that, and they turned me down at first. But like I do with others, I didn't give up. I went to the school. I talked to the administrator. We prayed, and then we wrote a letter, and then they called me back and said, you're going to school. So I went to school for the length of time that I needed to get the hours that I needed to get. And I started my counseling career for substance abuse counseling back in 2003. Well, when I started that around 2004, I went ahead and started back to school because I had come out of college a 19-year-old pregnant. So I said when I finished with the rearing of the kids, then I would go back to school. So here I am. The kids are grown. I had two sons, one of whom is deceased now. But I went back to school and I was 50 years old when I started back to college. And by 2010, I had gotten my bachelor's degree in human services. And by 2016, I had achieved my master's degree. And I started doing presentations for the NGCRC there in Chicago every August. I started doing that in 2018, I believe. And then in 2020, I received that Milton Thrasher Award, the one that they give people that are excellent. And I got mine for the excellence in working with getting guys out of the gangs and helping them to start their way toward not only renouncing the gang, but these guys were in single cells. So if they went through my 9-month program, they can get out of solitary and go in the general population. One example is one of the guys I'm really proud of. When he got out, he went back to college because there was a Lee College there in the TDCJ system.
Okay.
And he actually got magna cum laude in business.
Wow.
These are the things that I look for. I see so many miracles going on in the population that sometimes society think, oh, they did time, they're no good, just throw them away. But there's so many golden nuggets in that population.
Yes.
That's why I love working with them, because if I see somebody that's serious about what they're doing, I go all the way with them, because I know I want to see people achieve farther than I have.
Amen.
I want to see people that I could look. If you God bless you with a home and a car and all this kind of stuff, we'll just come by and give an old lady a ride.
I know that's right.
I'm not hating on you. Matter of fact, I'm congratulating on you, because I want you to be the best that God intended for you to be. And He's ordained me to a certain extent to work with you so you can become that. So, yeah, accolades is one thing. Who doesn't? Raymond has a plethora of certificates himself from different things that God has blessed him to do. But it's not about the paper or the accolades. It's about my daily walk. Because you can always find somebody that needs help. And when you put yourself out there, oh yeah, if they serious, they gonna come to you.
That's right. Okay, now we got that out the way.
Okay.
Now I want to get into this book. This book, I'm talking about, lady, you had me dissecting your book in my mind. Now keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I have never read the book. But just from the cover, I was able to put myself, as she told you earlier, in that same situation.
Yeah.
Because I done dug myself in a hole and I done climbed out the ditch. So this is what this book is so powerful. And so we're going to get into that right now. So could you walk us through that?
Sure. I'm going to go to the table of contents and talk to you guys about it. If you ever dug a hole for yourself, and of course, when I dug a hole for myself, I got myself in that hole, but it was impossible for me to get myself out of that hole without help.
Talk about it.
So when I was thinking of a title for the book, I thought about, I have a ditch in front of the home that I grew up in.
Uh-huh.
And me and a good friend of mine, when we were youngsters and still in high school, we would sit in that ditch. We would sit right there in that ditch and we would talk about what we wanted to do. What do you want to be when you grow up? Things like that. And so when I was thinking of flashing back on what we used to do, I thought about it. Okay, I'm almost, it took me a year to write the book. I was 29 years sober when I started writing it. And I released it August the 3rd of 20. So I was 30 years when I released it.
Hold on 1 minute.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I was 30 years when I released the book. And out of the ditch in 30 came
Can you hear now? Excuse me, I mean it. Go ahead.
me. Okay.
Yep.
Out of the ditch, the title out of the ditch in 30 came from that reflection on how I went from the ditch not being a bad thing to the ditch being something that I dug and had to get myself out of. So chapter 1, after the introduction, first of all, first and foremost, one of the things I'm proud of is that my oldest son wrote the foreword and the foreword, and he talked about his mom, and he
That's
talked
tears.
about
That
how
brought tears to
proud
me.
he was of me, and
Yes.
he talked about all the things that him and his brother didn't go without, even though I had an addiction and even though I had
Amen.
relapse episodes. You know, for your children to speak well of you after they've been through so much with you, I just think that's a blessing come from God. So we talked. He's the first one you're going to see when you open this book. You're going to see the foreword. It's from my son, Mr. Titus Williams. And then the acknowledgments is me giving props to the people that helped me, my parents, you know, all the grandparents, the great grandparents, the
Right,
friends, the
right.
relatives. I give acknowledgement to them. And then the introduction. In the introduction, I talk to the viewer, the person that's written the book, and I tell them, you know, put yourself in this position right here, chill, sit back, relax, and read it, and then see where you can relate to it. You know, if there's some relation to it for you. And then
Yeah.
in chapter 1, we talk about a deep sketch of the ditch. And that's troublesome times. There were some things that I went through that I took myself through, like living a double life. You know,
Right.
you're in church 1 minute and you're on the way to the dope house the next. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe I'm the only one who went through that.
Now you ain't done. I relate to it. Go ahead. Go ahead. I can relate to that.
But I talk a little bit about troubled times, and that's why I say this is my qualifying chapter. If you're wondering about whether or not I qualify as an addict or alcoholic, it even goes into things that I talk about with being adopted as a baby and not knowing my real people and things like that, the emotional trauma that I went through. It talks about all of that in
Yeah.
the brief sketch of the ditch. Well, chapter 2 talks about free at last, but still
Okay.
in the ditch. So I got free from drugs and alcohol,
Right.
but I'm still in the ditch.
Right. Right. Right.
So getting free of drugs and alcohol didn't get me out the ditch.
Right.
You know, a lot of people think, they say prison, 3 hots and a cot. But then when you get out of prison, you get a job, you get a significant other, you get a house with a picket fence, you get a couple of kids and a nice car, and you think you out the ditch. Then that's not out the ditch. So we talk about free at last, but still in the ditch. And that talks about sobriety, my sobriety years from 1 year to 15 years.
Okay.
So that chapter 2 covers that. And then chapter 3, we're talking about moving against the grain while in the ditch. Okay, so that's going to talk about years 16 through 30 in my
Right.
recovery.
Right.
So we're still in the ditch.
Hold it. Not to cut you off. You got
sure.
33 years, right?
I'll have 33 in October.
Okay. Okay.
But this stopped at 30.
Okay.
Because that's when I released it at 30. So the book been out almost 3 years.
Okay.
So moving against the grain while in the ditch. Because salmon are very good and expensive fish. But when you're a salmon, you got to swim upstream. You got to swim against the grain. Everybody passing you by going that way. And you made decisions somewhere in your life, I'm going this way. So we have to talk about how you can be in the ditch and still wondering, okay, why I'm not free yet? Why I'm not experiencing the freedom that I think I should be free at this stage? And for me, that was years 16 through 30.
Okay.
Because I tell you one thing, I buried my son the last day of my 15th sobriety year. Okay. I buried my son on September 30th, 2005. Okay.
Okay.
On October 1st, 2005, I celebrated 16 years. So I buried my son on a Friday and celebrated 16 years the next day.
Mm. Ooh.
Okay. So that, the things that get me out of the ditch may not be pleasant. The things that are bringing me out of the ditch may be just things I need to go through so I can realize that I'm tougher than I think I am.
Amen.
You
Amen.
know, one thing I know is I'm worth it.
Okay, then.
That's one thing I learned while I got to learn I'm worth it before I get out the ditch.
Right. Okay.
I can't be trying to learn how much I'm worth when I'm out the ditch. I need to know that before I come stepping out that ditch, because things are going to come against me that if I don't know how much I'm worth to God, then I'm not going to make it.
That's it.
I'm not going to make it. So then that's chapter 3, years 16 through 30. Now, chapter 4, which is the last chapter, is called The Responsibility of Living Outside of the Ditch. And in parentheses, it has spiritual maturity and tapping into your own brilliance.
Give me a little bit about that.
Man, all of us are brilliant. All of us have been beautifully and wonderfully made. All of us have a purpose. And I'm here to tell you, if you get an idea what your purpose is before you leave this earth, don't ever let that go, because I don't care how old you are. When you get that, once you get it, you can make it happen. I don't care about how many detours you've taken in life. I don't care about how many times you fail, because failure is a part of success if you look at it the right way. So it doesn't matter the trials and tribulations, because you're going to go through that. You're going to go through that. You're going to go to it, and hopefully you're going to go through it.
That's it.
You understand? You're going to get to it, but let's just go through it. People say, you know what ran through my head? And they tell me, I say, well, as long as you let it run on through, and we're good. So, and as y'all can tell, I love to have fun, because I'm happy. I'm happy. So, the responsibility of living outside the ditch. You have to be responsible when you live outside the ditch. You have to add another word to that. It's called accountability. Being responsible is one thing, but can I be accountable? Can people trust me to do what I say I'm going to do, even though they're not doing what they say they're going to do?
That's it.
Am I going to take responsibility and be accountable for things, even when people disappoint me and they didn't hold up their end of the bargain?
Yes.
I stay free simply because I do what I'm supposed to do.
That's it.
You don't give me my freedom because you do or don't do what you're supposed to do. My freedom is contingent on what I do. And you have to have that kind of mentality when you come up out of it. You got to know that when you come up out of that ditch, because now you're living in a place of maturity. You're learning how, wow, I do know a little something, don't I? I'm not what they said I was. I'm not a throwaway. Yeah, I did some dope, right. But the dope gave me an experience so I can help somebody else get out the ditch.
That's it.
And you never forget where you came from, because somebody needs to know the message that you carry so they can say, if Raymond and Veronica could do it, maybe I need to give it a shot.
That's it.
So, and then last is the conclusion. And I was blessed at 4 years of sobriety. This is really a miracle, to go to China and do with the United Nations Conference on Women in 1995. I was blessed to go there and do a workshop on women and drug abuse. And I say nobody can put the cart before the horse but God, because I ain't have no credentials. I ain't have nothing.
Right.
In 1995, all I had was sobriety, but that was enough. And God sent me there. So on the way back, I wrote a poem, and it's called Have You Been to the Wall? So in the conclusion of the book, I put my poem, because it was published. That was my first thing that was published ever in my life. The book is my first book, but it was the second thing. So I've been published since 1996. Okay. So I'm grateful. I mean, I just stay grateful. That's all I can do is stay grateful. Somebody hit my car last week. I'm like, how's God going to work this out in my favor? But he did.
That's it. That's it.
So it's all about being real with yourself, and you have to recover and be real at the same time. Life not gonna stop. It didn't stop happening. When I was using it, didn't stop happening when some of my people that I helped was, incarcerated. Life didn't stop. So if you're gonna get in the stream, then you have to understand life has a stream, life has a flow. And if you're gonna get with the flow, it don't mean you're going the same way everybody else going. You might be going the other way, but you got to let that current push you to your destiny,
Go
whatever
ahead,
it is. And that's
brother.
that's what the book is all about.
Well, that's an awesome book, and for all of you out there listening, you need to go get it out the ditch in 30. At the end of the show, she's going to tell you exactly how you can order your books, so that way you can get it, and she'll have your contacts. Now, what I want to get into with you is now when we jammed at the game conference, right? And we shook them Europeans' tails because they had never experienced what you and I and a couple of others, what the guys from New York. And so they had never experienced this. So once they experienced this, they wanted to get more and more. And unfortunately, I wasn't in a position, but God put you in a position
Exactly.
to carry the torch.
Yes.
And you carried that torch, sister, with an iron duke. And I commend you on that, because at the end of the day, them conferences need to see more people like us.
Yeah.
Because they can sit up there and do the textbooks.
Right.
We had the guards, we had judges, we had polices, we had officers, we had wardens, but we didn't have returning citizens.
Mm-mm.
And that's where I came in at. The guys from New York came in at, and you were a teacher in the prisons. And you fought, and you still fight for the returning citizens.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing I love about it, when I shot it to you, you didn't read. You took it, and when I looked up, you had it in Huntsville. Everywhere you go, it's returning citizens. It ain't. We don't even use the other words no more. But this is the thing I want. This is what I want to get to you. Is your humility. You are so humble, sister, and that did something to me as we stood on Chicago Avenue in Michigan. Well, I'm right down the street right now, right down the street from where we was at. And you said, Raymond, I really appreciate you showing me the hospitality. I'm here in Chicago. So no problem. You said, if you ever come my way, I'm going to return the favor. Yes. And lo and behold,
here you go.
Be careful what we ask for, right? Because God talking about the highways and the byways.
Don't say it. It's going to happen.
He sent me there. And as soon as I got there, I knew churches. I knew powerful people in Houston now that I didn't know.
That's right.
Was through you, because I commend you. And then not only that, we got into the movement of me being extra motivated to do exactly what you were doing, because I always wanted to get in them prisons. So God said, there you go. Here's a woman. And we ain't in the Bible, but I'm going to go there. Here's a woman. And her name is Veronica. And you're going to meet her. And when you meet her, she's going to open that door for you to go in there to release the men and women in the penitentiaries.
Exactly.
And lo and behold, what happened last week, Veronica, was them people called me.
Woo!
They said, congratulations, Raymond Richard. You have been accepted. So now, what God had already put before us, he laid it out. We played it out. Now we'll be able to reach more children, reach more returning citizens, and help broaden the minds and show them that, hey, we can do this.
Yes.
Because this is the mission that God has us on.
Yes.
And another thing I like what you said was you talked about going up the stream.
Yeah.
Because all my life I went against the grain, bobbing and weaving, right? Bobbing and weaving. And one thing I didn't lose was faith. Never lost my faith. Under Lord Walker Drive in the crack house, I never lost my faith, because I knew one day, I didn't know when, but I just said one day, this too shall pass.
Wow.
And with that, I had a great surrounding cast around me. God started putting people in my life,
Oh yeah.
and so that's another thing that I like about it. And another thing is you sisters, and I just want y'all to know this, y'all are my inspiration. So when y'all do stuff, I go do it 10. That's it. I'm up. You know how I get, Veronica. I'll be up 3:30 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. I'm at it. How can I get better? How can I help somebody? And I never last week we didn't do our big thing like we normally do, but we went and fed them some nachos, cheese, and ground beef
wow.
with the hot peppers.
Woo.
And she had the big thing of jug of juice to make a little concoction, right? My baby told. And the man said, "We remember y'all. Where everybody?" I said, "Well, we said the team is not here. We're still intact, but we just came to let you guys know that we are not going anywhere. We
There
have
you
to take
go.
care of God's business, but we will be back." And we set a date for September the 10th, where we'll be giving them the whole
Wow.
shebang: clothes, shoes, food, everything. And God has put on our heart to give. And I told them, y'all be prepared. We want every homeless person from around the area, not just in this area. And
Around you.
this is what we challenging them to do.
Uh-huh.
Go get them, have them here, so
Wow.
that when we walk away, we don't walk away with nothing. And y'all have everything y'all need.
Well, Raymond, let me say this because this is just a blessing. Tomorrow, I'm going to be at a conference for Triumphant Ministries, and I'm going to have a table for my books and everything. But the lady there, because I do some contract work for her, LCDC is working with youth and adults. And
Okay.
she's already told me that she can get me donations of clothes and shoes and everything. So for right now, everything I get, I can give it to you guys, and y'all can
Yeah.
have it for all your homeless excursions that you go on. Anything I get in the company, my sisters will donate directly to you.
Oh, we appreciate it. And my brother Lap, he Larry Johnson, he's been down from day one, and as he said, and I'm there 10 toes down. Yeah, but that's what it is, because this is a movement and it's real, because we and the program, the program teaches us giving back what was so freely given us, which was love.
Exactly. That's right.
That was love. All God gave us was love.
That's it.
And he loved us unconditionally. And the program teaches us we're going to love you till you learn how to love yourself.
Exactly.
And we have to be the example that we want to see.
Want to see.
So when we
Exactly.
give them back to the people, we got to let them know this is for you. This ain't about us. And don't thank us, thank God.
Exactly.
God get all the glory. We don't, while we're not holier than thou,
No.
but we know we got to give where the glory goes to and who it
Exactly.
goes to. And we appreciate
Exactly.
it. We do. And like McFadden and White here said, ain't no stopping us now.
That's right.
But we're
That's
going to
right.
make sure that we acknowledge him in all our ways. And what is it? What's that piece of Paul says, to thy own self be what?
True.
Thy own self be true.
That's it.
Mhm.
And so
That's right.
this sister Paula, she listened to your testimony. And
I
this is one of
know.
the sisters that's been with BST from day one. When we were,
Wow.
see, a lot of people don't understand that we was some of the first ones who fed Tent City in Chicago.
Wow.
Under the Viaducts. And we didn't just feed them, Sister Veronica. We fed them.
Not.
So it's a difference between feeding them
Feeding
and
and
we
feeding.
fed them. They had greens, macaroni and cheese.
Oh, y'all fed them.
Right. Cornbread, chicken. Man, they had so many different dishes of meat.
Not only, I don't mean to cut you off, Raymond. Not only did we feed them food, we fed them the soul of what we had. We don't know who we didn't help, but somebody ain't there no more because they didn't got themselves together.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Isn't that wonderful?
Go ahead.
We took the time to sit and talk.
Go ahead, because you cut off. Go ahead.
Just to give him a word of encouragement, like the young lady talked about, Miss Veronica.
I'm gonna have to say this. She talked about the salmon, and the salmon swim upstream. I don't care where it's born at, where they can see their eggs, they always know how to get back home.
That's right.
Upstream. That's some powerful piece right there.
Yeah, that is. It is. And that, hey, that out of the ditch in 30. That's what I'm saying. I want people to get this book because it's so powerful. And when she read me the forwarding, the intro, I had chills. I was like, whoa. And I was like, okay. So, you know, and then she had been coming on my show, but you know, she had been doing busy. I've been busy, but God said, okay, it's time for y'all to make it happen.
Let's do it.
And so now we're doing it, and this is what a conversation Brother Raymond gonna bring the people, you know. And we want to get Sister Paula on here too, because she got a testimony. Sister Barbara on here, I see her, you know, I see her, you know. Brother Larry, he got a testimony. Sister Ella, you know, and so many people.
Oh yeah.
This is what the conversation about Brother Raymond's all about. See, it's not about I know all my big shot friends, the lawyers and politics and the actors and ball players. No, I don't even call them. I want the boots on the ground people.
That's right.
Everyday people. Because anybody can write a check.
That make it happen.
Show up and take pictures, and then what happens after that? You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Who doing the work?
This is the conversation Brother Raymond's about. Everyday people, everyday walks of people that's helped changing lives. In every situation, in every circumstance that's possible. You know, see, and that's what people don't get. They be like, when I tell them, because my cousin was like, man, all the stuff you do, you should have, those shows should have. I said, man, I don't do it for the views. I do it for the love. I got to give it to the people.
But you see, one of the things that you just got through saying, it says, so for us to keep what we have that's internal, we have to give it away, which is the paradox.
Yeah,
right.
That those people hid, just like Miss Veronica. She gave away her time and her knowledge, and she gained knowledge to help somebody from which she had been the ditch.
Right.
She's saying it's a way out the ditch. Come on, let me show you how to come out, and that's what you're doing. Because you talk. I know your story. You know my story. We was all recovering addicts, and it's been hard trying to come up out that hole.
Yeah.
But once you came out, you were just halfway out, and even though life hit you, she talked about she buried her son.
Right.
These are inspirations. She was just letting people know it's okay because it's well with my soul.
Exactly.
And you know the powerful thing about that, she didn't use. Woo!
There you go.
She didn't even use because she knew she used them tools. And that's
right.
the tools. And that's why that book is going to be so powerful. I'm telling y'all people, y'all better go get that book, man. Get that book.
I went through the same thing last year.
And Paula is
Thank you, Sister Paula.
Did the same thing with little Saint Nick, my little homie, Saint Nick. And my nephew used to smile. It was like when he synced me, he was so proud. Man, Uncle Ray, I love you, man. And stop that. Paula said, never. Whatever I got from my nephew, you can get it. Because guess what? It was unconditional. It wasn't no front. It wasn't no gimmick. Every time I seen Saint Nick came, he was who he was. He never changed. And he accepted me as who I am. And that's how it was with us. Because a lot of people don't understand, man. People don't want to know what you know. They want to know how much you care.
Well, for me, Raymond, it's also about you don't know when it's going to be your last time to help somebody. So you got to stay in help somebody mode all the time because you don't know, because we came here to leave.
That's it. That's the only thing
we came here to leave. So my thing is, now that I found my purpose, I want to fulfill it until it's time for me to transition to whatever the next level is going to be for my soul. Until then, what I'm put on this earth to do, it's going to be every day I'm going to find a way. Today, I passed out flyers to people in my neighborhood about food pantry giveaways for the next couple of months. They can go to this place and they don't have to sign up or provide nothing. Just bring your ID and show up. You can go to all of them if you want to. It's my business. It's my business to when I get information to share it with somebody else. And I want to tell y'all the subtopic of the book, which you can't really see it that good because it's on the bottom there. It's about my Paradigm Awakening Volume 1. So it's Out of the Ditch in 30, my Paradigm Awakening Volume 1. So this is just the first book. And the paradigm means I was right here, but now I switched. You get me? I was right here.
Say it again.
The paradigm means I've switched. I was in this mode of thinking. I was in that mode of thinking. I was in this way of living. And all of a sudden, here I am. I done switched up. And I done switched up because God allowed that to happen. And now I'm a productive member of society.
That's it.
For real. Not just to say I'm a because I got a job and I had all that stuff and I was still in the crack house. Okay. I had a job. I was still in the crack house. I own my own home. I was still in the crack house. I had a good I got out of treatment. I've been to 2 treatment centers. Every time I got out, I had a $3,000 bonus check on me. Stuff was not my problem. What I had lost and who I had lost in that addiction was me. And I'll be darned if I'm gonna get that back and not do anything with it. There it is. That's me.
And that your covering.
Oh yeah,
says a lot too.
I'm in the ditch on one of them. You can see me.
She's the true definition of I am my brother's keeper.
Exactly.
True definition of
it. And then because the cover speaks volumes for itself, and people don't understand because at the end of the day, and privy to that, at Safe Haven had sent me an email just 2 days ago, and they were talking about how do I contribute to the homeless, and I say I'm always giving back what was so freely given to me because I once was homeless, and I can show you. And so they say, so they said how, and I sent her, Paul. I sent her the before and after of me when I was sitting on the car. High as a kite. I wore about 75 pounds soaking wet. Wow. And then you see the other picture where I had my tie on and I looked like a politician, as they say. Wow. And so they took that and now they putting it on their poster.
Look at that.
Walk and run for the homeless.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's some, and that's only through the twins, through the grace and the mercy.
Wow.
And so, but God has keep sharpening me with powerful sisters. And I said, Lord, what is it? He said, let me tell you something, son. That's the backbone to everything you do is the woman. Wow. That's why I added her to you. And that's so right. Long as you and her can get a relationship, then y'all can start to build.
That's right. Because it's about family.
And that's it. And that's it. And
about family.
Remember, God said when they answered the door, when he was in where was that in Somalia before he burned it down? Where was he at? In Somalia. Where was he at when he knocked on the door and said, "Your family wants you"? He said, "I'm with my family right now."
Nah.
And they was like stunned, like, "What?" He said, "This is my family."
Yeah.
Because anyone who was riding with him and supporting him, it was his family.
Exactly.
Now, he wasn't talking about his biologicals. He was talking about his family because we all are family, and he treated everybody like family as long as they wanted to be treated. And so out of the ditch at 30,
right,
is your paradigm to give the people such a blessing. And then you come back with your trilogy, which I know it is in the works.
Oh yeah, I'm already writing the second book, and it's called 25 to Life.
And so this is what we're talking about because I too got back into the studio, and I said the Book of Raymond, the untold story, because see, everybody know about the poetry, and they know about the recovery,
exactly,
but they don't know about Raymond.
They don't know about Raymond.
And I'm talking about uncut, from little boy being abused to, they used to call me Bucky Beaver. And, when I didn't have the clothes, and my mother was suffering through alcoholism and so and the traumas and the effect that it had on me. And why I became, I used that as a crutch. Let me say that because that ain't why, but I used it as a crutch, an excuse, because I rationalized with the fact that my mama did it, so I can do it too. And so it's coming. And then not only that, I got the documentary I'm working on as well. As you know, you'll be a part of it as well. You'll be
okay.
Because I want my people that rock with me, for real, to be a part of that. And Miss Crosby, now that was my 50-year road dog, Barbara Crosby. You know what I'm saying? And so these are the ones, her and Cynthia. See, and believe it or not, there were more women who had my back than it was guys. And I'm talking about stand up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I never forget that. See, I ain't forget when Miss Hawkins came and she was at my side, at my beck and call. See, I ain't forget that. See, I don't forget these things because, I love that. And then we talking about, no, I'm talking about back then, Joe. See, my buddy in Houston, my buddy Joe, he said, I rock with you. Yes, sir. Ever since I got to Houston.
Well, we know that.
him and his wife ain't they never changed on me.
You got a Houston team, brother.
He called me Raymond X. He called me Raymond X in Houston. And so these are the people, these are the people that I'm rocking with, that we building with, that we're gonna build.
But let me say this, Raymond, but because the time is far spent. But let me say this. I know you glazed over it right quick, but I just want to tell you how proud I am of you, because it was hard sticking through this application process with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice as long as you did and not giving up. It was a pleasure for me to work with you while you were doing that and persisting, because I know the impact you're going to have on the young people that are incarcerated, on the young people that may have gotten charged as adults. I know that you're going to do a wonderful work in there, but sometimes getting in is your hardest struggle. It's not about, you got the talent, God has given you the resources and all of that, but I know a lot of people that would have given up, but you've been working on this for a couple of years now, and you finally got. They done told you all kind of stuff. Yeah, we got to take it to committee. We got to do this and do that. Well, it takes a little extra. You got to send us some reference letters. You got to do this and that and the other based on your history, which has been cleared a long time ago. But we understand that. But I want the audience, whoever they are, to know what a fabulous job you did, because I watched you do that from day one, and I'm just so proud of you.
I appreciate it. But again, it comes from sisters like yourself that I know have my back. My significant other,
Exactly.
So she was like, it's gonna be okay. She seen me with my head like, look, baby, this is what I do. She said, okay, if that's what you do, then continue to do it.
That's right.
And even when I got down on myself, you would tell me like, man, dude, I don't do that. We ain't doing that. Not right here. It's gonna come. It ain't coming right now, but it's gonna come. But guess what? We're gonna call them again next week.
Nah.
Call that week, next week, after next week, after next week, and they asked for what we needed in. Well, they asked for us and what to give, and we gave it to them.
Sure did.
So through that is the reward of getting in there. And then not only that, we found another sister named Sharon. She works in there.
Wow.
So now she's like, oh no, we got to get you. No, we got to get you in there. We got to get you in there. We got to get Raymond in there.
Face to face, glory to glory.
And this is all through God's grace and the gift of, giving back. And then, because we all feed collectively, we give back. And you give back the way you give back. Sister Hawkins give back the way she give back. Sister Crosby give back the way she give back.
That's
My
right.
fiance Nicole, she gives back the way she gives back. Brother Larry, so on and so forth. My brother Charles, he's a minister. He gives back in the ministry. So we all have the gift, and we have to use the gift. And one thing I want to tell you about my partner, Katie Lowe, on this show here. This sister is so powerful, and I would speak to her myself, but she gives back so much. She takes her whole community and she feeds them. She clothes them. And not only that, we're working on a major project. I can't spit it out yet, but this is going to change the whole heart and mind of a lot of people who are less fortunate, because the Bible talks about the least, the lost, and the left behind. And so that's what it is. But right now, we're going to give it to you. We're going to turn it back over to you, Miss Veronica, and give us some more of that. Oh, talk about the, because I had, ladies and gentlemen, I had the distinct pleasure last year of attending the Cocaine Anonymous conference, which she helped put together. And let me tell you something, all over the world, when I tell you all over the world, there were people there all over the world, and they had these breakout sessions, and it was beautiful. I thank you for that. Could you touch on a little bit of that, Miss Veronica, if you may?
Well, in the Cocaine Anonymous, I was affiliated myself with that as well as AA for the last 33 years. And so I've been very, very blessed. I've been to other countries. I've even been in England. I went to another prison 3 times called Downview Prison. You know, I have a reputation for not only being clean and sober, but for being active. I've been an active delegate, World Service delegate. So I met people from all over the world, and they're interested in what we are doing in our part of the world. So knowing Raymond came to town, I just needed him to add that little piece so he could see that he could step in, because there could be opportunities even for him to do workshops for us in the future, because I did one this year on service. So, you know, every year we have other things that we can do. But what I wanted to put is my phone number out there. If anybody wants to get the book, because I do take Cash App, but you can call me, and I think she has it on there, 346-357-8723. You can find me from all over the world, and I will give you, if I can get an email address from you, I'll send you the sign-in sheet or the pickup sheet, or you can sign in and get it sent to you. I do send out books, you know, through the mail. I've been doing that, especially during COVID. I was sending out books through the mail right here in Houston, because we couldn't, you know, touch each other and all that kind of stuff. So like I say, we've been doing that for 2 years. So please take the information and help us out, because every dime that you send with these books goes to the prison ministry, that we go up there every other month to the 2 prisons, and we give back to the ladies, me and my team. And we've been doing it for 4 years, you know, pretty much out of our own pocket, but this is our fundraiser. So thank you so much for allowing me to be here.
I appreciate it. And before we go, I want to give another special shout out to a brother who has been diligent. I talked to him. He went and he conquered. And his name is Mr. Keith Harris, right? Okay. Now, he got into the Second Chance program, Veronica. Mm-hmm. And not only, he got in it to win it, right? Oh. A lot of people just got in it, but he got in to win it. And he's moved up. This brother done moved up from cleaning the buses. He's on the rails now. He do the wow. I think he got a manager, supervisor. I don't know but I know he moved up.
That's what I'm talking about.
And this is what we talk about, giving opportunities, right? Mm-hmm. And so this is what we do. And this is what Brother Standing Together is all about. And I keep telling people, it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at.
That's right.
Because they say you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink.
You can make him thirsty.
You know, but I just commend brothers like this, and Brother Joe he has everything smoke. Now, this was just something he was doing in his house. God blessed him with a truck now.
Wow.
Now he do events all over the Houston area. So if you're ever in Houston, go to Everything Smoke. The man is awesome, right? And so these are the people that's the dedication part that I like. That, you know, that's how I rock with the dedication. And Brother Elgin, so brother named Elgin there, I didn't know him from Adam. We were introduced, and we talked on the phone for about 15 minutes. And ever since then, we done did 3 or 4 projects together in Houston, and we're building the movement in Houston because I want the returning citizens to be productive members of society, and we want them to know that there's an opportunity there for you.
Oh,
Once you come home, we want to provide that opportunity for you, but we're going to give it to them in the whole thing. Now you got to holler at Miss Veronica to get your counseling. Okay, now you get your counseling, you get your mind right, because the Bible says the changing of the mind.
exactly.
So once they get their mind right, then we can take them under the wing and they can start doing the training. The same thing I do in Chicago, the same thing I do everywhere, because guess what? They're my people.
Well, we
And
have
so
to realize that we in this work that we do, Raymond, we don't get a brain transplant. They don't give us a new brain. So the same brain that had you acting a fool gonna be that same brain we're gonna teach you how to use to do it the way you want to do it these days.
That's it.
Same brain, no brain transplant, same brain. You are capable of doing this. All you got to do is want it.
And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about how this woman single-handedly, let me tell y'all, single-handedly raised entrepreneurs. Now her son, who was deceased, was an entrepreneur, and now her other son, he got it tenfold. Now talk about your son and what he does. Before we get out of here, I need you to talk about him now because he's doing some extraordinary stuff.
Okay, Mr. Titus L. Williams, he started out with his little brother Al Frederick Williams because we found out that Al Frederick knew how to rap. So he got his brother involved, and in 2004, I want to say, he got his brother all the way to Jay-Z when he was over Def Jam, and Jay-Z hired him same time he hired Rihanna. Unfortunately, Al Frederick had a drug problem that he wasn't willing to address, so he ended up committing suicide. But his brother, since then, I'm so proud of him because he was able to keep it moving. He also have helped well-known people in the music business now, because anybody that can take you from nobody to Jay-Z, people want to hire you. Yeah, because they know you know something. So not only is he working with that, he's got a couple of boxers that he's working with. They just came back from Colombia in February. You know, he got a couple that are doing well because with COVID, everybody went back down to the bottom, and you got to come back up and raise your status worldwide. So I am so proud of him. Not only that, about 15 years ago, he showed his wife how to start her own business. So she's been in the transportation business in Houston for, you know, quite a few years. And that was the product of him teaching his wife how she could be her own business owner. So both my grandchildren, all of my grandchildren have learned how to be business owners because of their father. I thought I was just a clock-in girl, but Titus has taught me so much that I'm on my own now. And when I told him I was doing this today, he said, "I'm proud of you, Mom," because he's been my mentor in working and not having to hit that clock. You know what I'm saying? He's helped me a great deal. So you know, don't rule your children out. Don't be you know, trying to have your ego out there because your children might have to teach you something, because they're in this new age that we don't know nothing about, and we can learn from them.
Yes, sir. We got to remain open so we can remain teachable.
Humble.
And so I just thank you, man. It's been such a privilege and an honor, man, to have you on this show. You know, you bless my spirit, you know, and I know you bless the audience spirit. And I just want y'all to go get it. Go get the book, man. Out the Ditch in 30. I'm telling you, this is a life-changing moment for all of us, not just you, for all of us, because there's something in there that can help all of us. You heard the woman talk about the salmon swimming upstream, going against the grain. All of us went against the grain at one time or another. So we can identify with what that means, right?
Yes.
And we can identify with, once you get out of the ditch, you have a responsibility and accountability.
Yes.
So all of this in this book is making it, and see, that's another thing. We have to support our own. Because if not us, then who? And if not now, then when?
That's right.
Because there's a lot of powerful entrepreneurs out there, but they're not getting the support that they need in order to get over that hump or come up out of the ditch, as Sister Veronica talked about. And so she just gave us some tools to help us get up out of the ditch. And not only that, she said, go back. Remember that part and help somebody else out the ditch.
That's right.
As well. So I just want y'all, let the rest in y'all spirit. Sister Katie Lotus put it on there. And if you need it, you can inbox me and I'll send you her information and her email, and y'all can communicate like that, and y'all can get her book. But I love you. You already know that. Ain't nothing you can do about it. And we rock it, man. And this is just the beginning of what God has for all of us. You know, I'm talking about all of us, because you know my saying, every one of us is better than any one of us.
That's right.
So we have to understand that terminology and we have to use it. Because let me share this with you. I've watched a group of friends open up. Hey, what's going on, Brother Marcus? MJ fade away, swish. That's MJ. You got the Tesla, y'all. And they put together their money. See, this is what accountability and responsibility came in. They put their money together. They opened up a restaurant. And now they got franchises. I'm going to leave it at that.
Wow. Go leave it like that.
Now they got franchises. Because they trusted and they believe that together they can make something happen. And it wasn't about, oh man, you got to do this. No, they said, listen, this is what we're gonna do. I got this, you got that, you got that. Let's put it all together. The building, the restaurant costs this, let's get it. And they got the refinancing, got everything. And guess what? As they say, the restaurant paid for itself.
Nah.
And that's what they talk about when they talk about sleeping. While you sleep, you're making money.
Yeah.
So we should be sleep making money. Sister Veronica should be sleep selling our books. When she wake up, she need to restock and reload. But
Absolutely.
this is the mentality we have to get to, real talk. Because if we don't get that mentality, guess what?
We ain't nothing gonna happen.
That's right. We still in the ditch she's talking about. So let's keep it 100. We still in the ditch that she's talking about because we are still envious, jealous of each other.
That's right.
So you will pull me back down in the ditch rather than me helping you come out the ditch. Man, we got to get it together, people. We got to get it together because at the end of the day, we have some. This is a nugget that God blessed us with that we have to use to enlighten others.
Yes.
Not ourselves. We got the treat. We heard the woman firsthand. Most of us are going to go get the book so we can get further. But now our task is to go back and help somebody else. And it's not about this one out. We understand the random people in the street. We have struggling people in our families that we see every day that we need to reach out and help them about their ditch. Because they're in the ditch. And you have to always remember about when you was in the ditch. See, we can forget about that so fast. Like, you was never in the ditch. Yeah, you was in the ditch. You was dirty. You was grimy. You was stinking. Didn't nobody want to be around you. They didn't trust you no farther than they can see you. But God changed all that. Now they can love you and they honor you. So now it's your turn to give back.
Right.
That's all we're talking about here. That's the whole purpose of Miss Veronica doing.
Yeah.
That's why she do what she do. She don't do it for no accolades. I don't do it for the accolades.
No.
If that was the case, I could have been had my career set. It was set in stone. They told me all you have to do is sell your soul.
Nah, I ain't doing
that.
Holla.
It won't happen. So I guess I won't have all that. But at least I have my dignity intact.
Yeah.
and the people know that cause I work for the people, for real. And anybody know, they know me. I ain't never said I was perfect, but I ain't what I used to be.
No, okay.
I can definitely say I ain't what I used to be.
Boo.
So that in itself, man, and just we got to just start helping, and it starts little by little. It don't have to be a lot. We're not telling you to go and take
That's
somebody
right.
to the top of the globe. We're saying if you get sit down and have a conversation with somebody. Sometimes all they need is a conversation.
That's it.
You'd be surprised if you sit down and talk to somebody how enlightened they'll be about it. And I tell y'all all the time, the people don't want to know how much you know. They want to know how much you care.
That's right.
And when you show them how much you care, then the shackles come off the mind and they start to elevate. They start to ask for more. Because that's how we all did. Once them shackles fell off our minds, we started doing what we're doing now.
That's right.
But somebody had to come along and help unlock that. God sent people to you for these purposes and these reasons. And so that's the reason why I am so grateful and honored to be friends with Sister Veronica, because guess what? I can say with certainty, I know I can call somebody. And guess what? She going to keep it 100. Don't care how you feel about it. She going to tell you like your TI is. This is what we need. But she also going to support whatever movement you got. This lady has put me in front of the mayor of Houston, alderman, councilman. This is how I got there. I didn't just get there. It wasn't because I was so grandiose. No. That's why it's called networking and having a support system. She had a support system. We went out to an event, and all the big shots was there. And she was like a little kid. She had me by my arm. Come on, you gotta meet him. You gotta meet her. This is Raymond. This the little guy, the little fella I was telling y'all about. Well, here he is right here. Now y'all go and hook up and do what y'all do. And she moved, and it was like I was like, wow, I was fascinated. But I was grateful and I was honored by it because guess what? She did that from her heart.
Yeah.
She didn't have to do that.
Wow.
Because we just don't do that. So when people do that, we have to know who these people are.
Uh-huh.
And we have to get behind them and support them too.
Wow.
And so that's the thing that we're talking about on this show. This show is about that. And she's our prime example. She went through the storm and she went upstream, down the stream, around the stream, but she never lost her faith.
That's right.
And she stayed focused.
Got to.
God delivered her and put her in a mighty position to give back to the multitude.
Yeah.
Because you know how many returning citizens come home every month. Now just imagine all of them she see. She go up there once, twice a month.
We the prison capital of the world. Okay, we're the prison capital of the world. Not
on special, and she going there on special assignments.
The world.
See what I'm saying?
We're the world.
She, as the BDP said, worldwide.
It's deep.
See, we thought it was a joke, but we didn't know that God had all this in store for us a long time.
He got us.
It was written. And like I say, it was laid out. Now all we got to do is play it out. As long as we play it out, we're going to be others, brothers and sisters, keepers.
Okay.
But the time is here.
Prison capital.
As Houdini said, this is the time and this is the chance because the next record might don't make you dance.
Nah.
So now y'all better take that. That's all I'm going to leave y'all with. Kello, come on in here and take us home. We want to thank Veronica Williams for
Reverend Raymond.
Yeah.
Reverend Raymond.
Out the ditch in 30.
I'm going to give you a pulpit, brother. I'm going to have to get you a pulpit. I'm going to have to get you a pulpit.
Katie Lowe is going to put it in the chat. Go to my page. You're going to have an opportunity to talk with her, and you're going to meet her because she'll be in Chicago with us as we go along. When God takes us on this tour of giving back, she's part of the team, so you can meet her in person. So
That
we
brother
want to
got
thank
a
you again,
that
Sister
brother
Veronica.
has anointing on him. He just don't
Yes.
know
And
it.
we
Listen,
just
I'm
love
serious. You
we
just
love you.
don't know it.
We love you, and we appreciate all you do for the people. And we cannot wait to see about the trilogy because it's coming.
Oh yeah.
Because you're already on the second book,
Yeah.
and that's 25 to life, right?
Uh-huh.
So that in itself, that's so much, that was running through my mind as we're going through the show. Stick to the show, Raymond. You can't just stick to the show, Raymond.
You did
So
good.
I wanted to go there, but we want you guys to we want you guys to understand that God
You
could
can't
and
help it.
would if He was sought,
Yeah.
and that means you have to seek Him. So we seek it, and this is why we reaping the benefits of it.
Yeah.
Now we're not perfect because you say no man before Him is perfect,
Okay.
right? And we sin daily, but we repentance like David was. David repent all the time.
Had to.
So we have to remember that God will forgive us, but first of all, we learn how to forgive ourselves.
All right.
And we got to give back. Give back. What's wrong with us? You see two powerful sisters on the screen, right? And I can say without a shadow of a doubt, I can close my eyes while they drive. And I don't close my eyes go to sleep. Just don't do it.
He
My
can't help it.
fiance,
He got anointing on him, and he has
and,
not realized it.
That's
and
okay.
it's just
Period.
it's a powerful thing, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
I gotta run because I'm getting goosebumps. And then I've been invited. We're invited somewhere, so we're gonna go there. I'm waiting on the queen to show up, and
Okay.
I'm at home. I'm gonna see who I can see while I'm here, and just know that we love y'all, and nothing you can do about it. And you have been tuned in to a conversation with Brother Raymond. We're gonna thank
y'all.
Veronica again. Thank you, Veronica.
Thank y'all.
Bless us
Y'all
again.
remember, everybody remember that it's Friday. It is the weekend. Listen, Veronica Williams have told you that she got out of the ditch in 30. Let me tell you, the weekend, there are all kind of ditches out there.
Yes,
I'm
Lord.
trying to tell you, don't run into that ditch.
Don't do
Okay?
it.
You got to make it to Monday.
Hold
Okay?
on, what you got?
So be careful of the ditch that you may run into. Just
And be
careful.
privy to opinion will be Monday.
Oh,
With
yeah.
all three of
Listen,
us,
you got to listen. We will be back here on Monday at
all
7
three of us.
o'clock.
So this
We're
Okay.
going to talk about opinions. Listen, we're going to ask is it a crime to water your neighbor's flowers? Is it a crime? We will see you here at 7 o'clock. Listen, if you want to order Get Out of the Ditch in 30 by Veronica Williams, I'm just gonna give you a synopsis of real small.
Okay.
All of the proceeds go to In the Company of My Sisters in Prison and Reentry Female Mentoring Program. What you can do, you can cash app at dollar sign. Is that ICOM
S.
S65?
Hmm.
Okay? Or you can call her at 346-357-8723. All donations are tax free and in kind. Okay? Then I must say, I want to thank you to my friends at Martha's Helping Hands. Listen, sow a seed for humanity.
All
Sow
right.
that seed. You can sow that seed to Turner's, that's TURNERS 412 at marthashelpinghands.org. And don't forget my friends at Brothers Standing Together.
All
That's
right.
the 5013C community service organization standing with returning citizens, incarcerated men, women, and children returning back into society.
Wow.
You can sow a seed today. Contact them at info at brotherstandingtogether.com. My name is Katie Lowe. This is Rhythm Flow Radio right here on Meta Facebook Live, YouTube, and Spreaker. And have a great weekend. And we love you. And hey, have some faith.
See y'all. Love y'all.
All right, bye-bye, everybody.
Wow.